James Marnis, this wine is next. It is from the producer Château Surain. This is a Bordeaux wine, Merlot. It is sans sulfite, and it is called Muse Drinker 2020 vintage. Stay tuned, and I'll tell you about this very nice wine. So be sure to subscribe to this channel, the subscribe button's down below, and I'd appreciate that very much. You'll see the latest videos that I'm producing. And if you've already subscribed, merci beaucoup to you, I do appreciate it. This Bordeaux producer was founded 100 years ago, and the current fourth generation family maker is Château Surain. And so they've grown from 1 hectare, which is about 2.5 acres, to 15 hectares, which is about 37.1 acres in total. And so their main production is Merlot. Now I applaud this producer and Adrian, because he's really taken this producer to another level, and that is not being an obscure label, but really make it relevant today and to wine drinkers perhaps like yourself who are seeking wine solutions and lovely wines. So one of my top questions I get is, do I have to spend a lot of money on good wine? And the answer is clearly no, you do not. And I think there's so many people that have so many requirements and needs today. They've always been there. But today, I think a lot of producers like Adrian has realized that there's a way of producing wines, in terms of price point, and also a good packaging that is friendly and doesn't feel so old, and also is without sulfites. Now let me show you the label up close. I think it's a really cool modern label, and I very much enjoy this yellow colorization, and I think it's completely striking, and you could really notice this from afar. And so to me, I think this cartoon character is just so relevant and modern and cool, and it's comfortable in its own skin, so to speak, and I think that's just the producer and the wine itself. So when I think of something like this, I look at this and say, I've been in Paris and I've seen artwork like this, or it's reminiscent. Doesn't mean this is necessarily in Paris, but I've seen it on buildings, or I've seen something like this on a postage stamp, and I think that's just so cool. Sans sulfite, I'll talk about that in a moment. Here's the side label, or I refer to the back label, but it's just one label, and I think that's nicely done as well. This is a wax seal, which to me is signifying, first of all, I love wax seals, and to me they really show a concern and attention to detail. You don't see that in every producer's wine, and to me, I think that as a gift when I get something like that. All wine is a gift, at least most wines, and so when I get a wine like this, I think it's very special to give and to get. And to me, I think it's really exciting to enjoy this wine. Adrian, I think to me, I've communicated with him, the winemaker, through email, and I think it's just, and also social media. Also, just to think he's, just such a well-experienced, well-rounded person in terms of business, brand development, as well as winemaking. And so I think he really understands the need in the marketplace today. So the marketplace is requiring so many things today, and actually the needs have always been there. It's just that winemaking and brands are understanding what consumers are needing, like yourself today. This is without sulfites. And there are people who really cannot tolerate sulfites. And asthmatics, I can think of one category of people who are really find sulfites to be dangerous even for them. So this does not contain additional sulfites. All grapes are going to have a trace element of sulfite. That's just what happens when you grow this agricultural product. But 90%, 95% of most wines produced throughout the world today have sulfites. So this is a really great product, a nicely made wine, good price point, and especially for those people who are seeking non-sulfited wines. There are people who are drinking non-sulfite wines, not just because of health reasons, and I drink a lot of sulfited wine, and so I'm not going to make that distinction that all sulfite wines are bad. They're not. So I drink vegan wines, I drink non-sulfited wines. I think it's just really a great opportunity to be tasting a lot of wines. And today, all these wines that I'm tasting are fantastically well produced, like this wine. But when I was tasting this, I thought, oh wow, this does not taste like a non-sulfited wine. And I think I would make a distinction in two ways. One, white non-sulfited wine is definitely going to taste a little more earthy, gamey in quality, some might say, or even mushroomy. And this wine doesn't come across that way at all. I don't think that's the intention. The intention is to produce a wine that is really meeting the needs of people out there, such as yourself, potentially yourself, which is non-sulfites. And I think it's a really nicely done wine. So here we go. This is a 2020 vintage, and Merlot, that's what the chateau or the domain is producing. Now you're going to see the producer right here, and they're right next to the Village Iglesia, the village church, which is Saint-Gervais. And it's a Romanesque church. It's very beautiful. I love French architecture, history, and everything. And so to me, to see that, I thought, when I saw on the label, I thought, oh, it's, you know, the village, and it's going to be something that's nearby, but as opposed to being next door. And so I think that's a really cool thing. So Romanesque, this is probably, what, 700 to 800 years old. You do not have to give up anything. So when people are, you know, presented with opportunities of tasting a non-sulfite wine, first of all, I've been tasting more non-sulfite wines from obviously Europe. France, I've been tasting 2 non-sulfited champagnes. I've tasted a lot from Italy and France, and it's something that I think a lot of producers, they're meeting the needs of customers. And to me, I think they're just really nice wines and something I very much enjoy. I know that there's a population out there that doesn't like non-sulfited wines, and that's fine. They're, you know, don't like them if you don't like them, but I do. And I think there's a reason to enjoy them. Anybody can enjoy this wine. In fact, if you weren't told there are no sulfites on this wine, I don't think you would detect that. So here we go with this wine. It is served in a nice format glass. This is a Bordeaux glass, which I think is really nice, appropriate, right? Because this is a Bordeaux variety from Bordeaux. And so that's one of the points of Adrien. He's really trying to focus in on producing wines that are well priced. And there's so many people in the marketplace out there who believe that Bordeaux wines are really, really super expensive. They are not. And that's only, say, 5%. And those are the growth wines, the red and white wines, that are going to be very, very pricey and, you know, well-known names. Now, I think the majority of producers, and I think Adrien is taking a leadership role in this and seeing to the marketplace that you can enjoy a Bordeaux. You can enjoy many French wines, and they're absolutely delightful, delicious, and they're not going to be more expensive than, say, U.S. domestic produced wines. They're just really fantastically well done. So nose on this wine is fresh and red and black bramble notes, as well as tarragon pepper and violets as well. And next is a palate characterization. So very noticeable and appreciable acidity. It's going to go very nicely with many cuisine styles. I definitely recommend, say, styles of food that are going to be hotter in flavor, such as a Mexican food, but you can enjoy this with a variety of foods. It doesn't have to be just hot foods or just Mexican food. It can be any food style. And so additional notes on this are black cherry, white pepper notes, and a savory characterization that I think is nicely done on the finish. This is a 92 wine out of 100 points. Now this wine is a $16.99 suggested retail price point in the United States. More information on this producer will be listed down below. Questions and comments, please let us there, or in the social medias that I'm on, such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and WordPress. Stay tuned for more reviews to come and many more French wines and all wines from all around the planet. And all the Château Surain wines are going to be listed right up here in the YouTube cards. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you in the next video. Santé.